I'm Just Saying is sponsored by Hover.com. Go to gfu.hover.com and get 10% off your entire purchase. FreshBooks. FreshBooks is an easy-to-use online invoicing service that saves you time, gets you paid faster, and makes you look professional. Get started completely for free at freshbooks.com. And by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook by going to audiblepodcast.com/GFQ. Hey everybody, welcome to I'm Just Saying week 71. I'm your host, Lon Blaze, joined by Andrew Zarian.
Hi.
How you doing, Andrew?
Hi. Did my hair come out great?
It looks great, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I spiked it up.
Anything you want to complain about today?
Yeah. You know what? I was getting really drunk.
You know what I should do? I should start saying literally. I say
I don't
drunk.
I don't say literally.
No, but I think I should. It'll throw people off if I say literally.
You should be literally drunk.
I should be literally drunk.
Yeah, all the time.
It blows me away, by the way. The whole literally thing.
I know.
Just because you live on the upper west side.
If you go through our archives, I think you bring it up like every third week.
It baffles me, and I'm waiting for the day for you or Joanna to use that. I think one day you will.
You know what? I think everyone who speaks English poorly has one thing that they think they say really well that makes up for it. On the judge shows, all of them go, "Well, Judge, after I had went to the store." Had went.
Yeah. You know what I love when they add words? Like, I hate the phrase "and whatnot." I hate it. I hate the phrase "and whatnot." I think you sound dumb when you say it.
And etc.
And etc. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And whatnot is one of those. It is one of the words that bothers me.
There's tons of them. It's like there's a book that English teachers use forever. It's called Strunk & White's Elements of Style.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole idea is you should write a bunch of words and then you should carve down and use as few words as possible. Because the fewer words you use, actually, the better it is for the thing that you're writing. I always said as a teacher, like, you know, I think the entire world should be handled like adolescents.
Well, don't they say the less you say, the better it is sometimes?
Right. Well, I don't know. Do you remember what I taught? What poetry was? My definition of poetry? It's my definition, no one else's, though you can borrow it. To me, poetry is the most amount of meaning in the fewest amount of words.
Yeah.
And your prose should be like that too. You should really say things that make people imagine stuff. They say pictures paint, a picture paints 1,000 words. That's absolutely true. You have to embellish what you say up to a point, and then it's enough.
No, you're right. I think you're right. But we have a lot we complain about.
Oh, my new take on complaints. I had one, and then I heard it another person. My new if someone complains it, I go, at least your face and hands weren't ripped off by a chimpanzee.
Yeah.
My day is good.
Yeah.
That's
what Facebook has become, right?
Yeah. I mean, but isn't it? I mean, my face was. She wins. She, and no matter what goes wrong in my life, my day is still better than the woman who had her face and hands ripped off by a chimpanzee.
Sometimes it's not.
Yeah,
I could say
you maybe have a worse day.
I have worse days.
Okay, and then someone said Jane Kaczmarek was talking about she was going through her divorce and stuff, and she was married for a long time to the guy that was on Bradley Whitford on West Wing. She was married to him for like 20 years. And their kids were like trying to console her and stuff. And she said, my kids use the phrase I use on them, which is 80% of the world goes to the bathroom in a hole in the ground.
That's actually really funny.
Right. You're doing better than that. So shut up. Your life is better than that. You're not going to the bathroom in a hole in the ground.
Richard Lewis just sent me a friend request on Facebook.
The Richard Lewis?
Yeah, the Richard Lewis.
Hey, Rich. What you
doing?
You
know who else I got? I got Robert Shapiro. 2 days ago, Robert Shapiro sent me a friend request.
Robert Shapiro. I'm sorry.
The attorney, OJ's attorney. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and I looked that Spencer and I are his mutual friends, so maybe he saw me on Spencer's page.
If he does send, you must friend.
Well, I did use his legal service.
Oh, you did?
He has that what is it? Legal filing? Not is it LegalZoom? Yeah, he owns LegalZoom.
Oh, cool.
And I used it to get incorporated, so.
Yeah, I'm getting I just got incorporated myself.
Congratulations, you were telling me.
Yep, I've been incorporated.
How does it feel? Is this your first company?
It is. My wife and I. Well, the theater company was incorporated.
Mm-hmm. It's my third. GFQ.
This is my fear.
Well, no,
First.
Maybe it says something like, you know, you're in your early 50s, you're settled, you're opening up a company. This is like your retirement. You know, I at the age of 27 have had 4 companies. 4.
Yeah, and
I have 3, and 3 are active,
in your hands.
and 3 are active currently. I'm definitely one of those scammers. Like when I look at you, Lon, like,
are you a Nigerian prince?
I actually am. Please send me your money, and I will send you yours.
Yeah, I get Nigerian princes, and then I get girls named like Blessing, who love me long time.
You know what's so funny? We had a whole conversation about nail salons on the Friday show, and he got a little crazy about how I had a party business, and I had a nail salon next door, and they used to do like the happy endings at the nail salon. And I told a story about how this guy would go there, good-looking guy would go there.
What's a happy ending at a massage parlor? What's a happy ending at a nail salon?
Well, yeah, it's the same thing. They did a whole massage thing.
Oh, okay.
And his wife walked in, like knew what was going on, and just stormed in and made a whole big fight. So sometimes it's not a happy ending. Sometimes it's a bitter divorce.
Which, you know, in the end, could be a happy ending for
It
someone.
could be, yeah. The guy did have a yellow...
No judgment, you know, wife or husband.
He had a yellow Hummer. And it's not a sexual term either. He literally...
I thought that was one of the offerings on the
a yellow Hummer, $20. 1 hour yellow Hummer. No, but it's your first company, which is great.
Yep, we are going to be the Better Body Boot Camp of Bayside.
That's amazing. And you're opening up, I mean, a couple blocks away from me.
Yeah, and a block and a half from my house.
I have no excuse not to lose weight, right? I have no excuse.
Yeah. Well, it's an extreme. The big selling point is, one, guys, 80% of the clients in the other location are female.
Yeah.
So it's a good place to show up. It really is.
So it'll be great.
Yep.
When do you expect to start?
I would say November 1st.
Oh, very soon. That's great.
Yeah.
It's actually a great thing.
We're closing in on the contract on the space, and we're doing good. And we got our lawyer today, and
it's tough, man. It's a tough thing to have your own business.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a lot tougher than people think.
Oh, I know, but everything that's ever been worth anything in my life has been a lot of work. So
I've had 2 retail stores, and I've had. I have this and I have something else. But
the overhead on mine is not big.
It's not the overhead. You know what it is? You're lucky because you're close and it's there. But the biggest problem is the fact that you're always going to work. You're never going to be off anymore.
Right.
Even when you are off, you're going to work.
Right. Exactly.
And this is the hardest job I've had, and it's down the stairs.
Right.
It's right here, but I work the most, and it's the most stressful because I'm right here.
Right, and if something goes wrong, who are you going to call?
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, yep, we're pretty excited about it, and we're going to use the space for the boot camp, but in its downtime, Joe is booking all other things. Joe will be doing Pilates in there, and I'll even see life coach clients there. And so I have a locale. I'll give myself the office there and play serene music.
Like everybody has a position. Everybody's going to do something, right?
Yep, absolutely. Kaiser's going to do the training, and he has a trainer at his other location that wants expand.
Who's doing like the day to day? Is it split, or you have somebody that's doing that?
I have very little to do. I put it this way, I'm putting in the money, and I am the person that is doing as much as I want to. Kaiser's doing the selling, and the trainers are doing the training. Joe's booking the non-boot camp things. That's going to be her gig because she can do that from home. Mm-hmm. And the other space even booked a party. We're thinking about having parties there once a month. Like in the
somebody asked if they could be the wino sitting outside.
Absolutely.
That's great. That's amazing.
You'll have to wear a sombrero because it's right next to Tequila Sunrise.
That's great. And it's unbelievable location.
Are you a tequila if you drink, like a wino drinks wine? Are you a tequila if you like drink?
No, you just use the term drunk.
Drunk. I love the way you say that.
Well, that's what it is. You got to emphasize on it. It's not a word to. You can't just throw that allegation around.
My drunks are far fewer and
Oh no, mine are many.
Well, you saw my last one.
Oh yeah,
like 3 weeks ago.
But I don't. That's bad.
Well, see, fewer times I get drunk, the easier it is for me to do so.
See, I don't. Drinking is a weird thing with me because I could not drink for like a month. But I choose not to. It's my choice, Lon. Nobody else's.
You have that power.
I do have that power. It's something other drunks lack. It's the discipline of keeping it up and keeping the character going. No, listen, I like my wine.
Yeah, you're talking to a 53-year-old man about keeping it up, so just...
So, you brought up something how people complain, and that's what Facebook has become pretty much, right?
Oh, man.
I'm such an asshole. Like, Lon...
What is the deal with it? Okay, can you explain what Facebook is doing and why?
Yeah. So
because okay, now we're going to sit back and the audience is going to watch Andrew explain to the techno-amish guy why Facebook is so fucking weird.
Okay, so what they did, they've totally changed the website. Actually, you know what? I think you could see mine. Let me show you mine, actually, Lon. This is what my Facebook looks like now. This is it. Totally different, right?
Oh, yeah. Mine looks like the old one.
Yeah.
Why do you have a guy in a bodybuilding position?
That's my grandfather.
Is it?
Yeah. So
of course it is.
Of course. So what I did today, and I'm such an asshole. So I've been talking about the new Facebook, and there's this chain letter going around from like people to people saying Facebook is going to start charging.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I heard it, and I've seen just as many saying it's a scam.
Yeah.
It's a scam.
Facebook is going to start charging. If you don't send this out to 10 people, they're going to charge you. There's going to be gold membership. Okay. So what I did...
Every time someone posts something now, the little number goes up. How do I get rid of that?
What little number? Up top? That means somebody... Well, you got to click on that.
Yeah, but I don't want all those notices. I mean, it didn't used to tell me every time someone posted.
Yeah, yes. I don't even know, to be honest. I don't even know how to do that.
And I have lists. Like, I have a Bayside area list.
That's
I didn't create it.
Remove it.
How do I remove it?
I think you could hit the delete button and get rid of it.
What delete button? If I hit the group?
I think like if you put your mouse on it and you let it hover, there's like a little pencil that comes up, and you could hide it. I'm not too sure, actually. I don't even know if that does it. I could be making that up.
It says, hide. Look at you. I love you. Okay.
So pretty much what I have done is I've posted a picture. Every time I post a picture, I'm not really posting a picture. I'm posting a picture of something that says, Facebook Gold account, please upgrade your account to view image. And I'll write a comment like, wow, Jess and I had a great time at Arrow's the other night. Here are some pictures. And a couple of my friends have caught on, and they're commenting and saying, wow, Jess looks great, or wow, you look drunk. And the rest of the people think that I either got hacked or they're missing something, or they don't have that gold account. They keep asking me, how do I get a gold account?
Yeah. I don't think I want to talk to you about this too much on the show because I'm just going to come off so retarded.
What is it? What's the question?
No. It's just like
question.
I want to get rid of that. Yeah, it's like, man, there are just so many groups now that I
don't know how to get rid of them. No, it does it automatically.
Well, you did do that. I managed to hide it now.
Yeah, I get the same thing. I constantly get it. Look at this. Right now I posted this and somebody wrote, I'm going to talk to my buddy to see if I could get a free account. I know he works at Facebook. So I've totally caused an uproar, and people are realizing it's only, and they're calling me an asshole, and I actually had a couple of people delete me from their Facebook. People have no sense of humor, Lon.
Oh, I know. Well, no, they have sense of humor about everything but one thing, and the moment you trip on that, you're the biggest dick in the world.
Well, the second they feel vulnerable and made fun of.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
You can make fun of everything but the Albanians. Don't you?
I've had somebody in my Facebook that constantly posts about. Should I go into this? Okay, so they're constantly posting about their divorce, and my age, the girl's my age, and it's constantly about what a bad guy the guy was and what a mistake she made, and how her life is now she's free and she could fly like a bird, and it's like 6 times a day, and this has been going on for months.
Can I tell you something?
I want to say something.
This gets guys hard. It really does.
Does it?
Like, no. I'm saying, like, does she ever hope to have another future relationship?
No. And she keeps talking about how awful guys are and how this is the last time she's giving a guy her heart. And I'm thinking, I'm like, you're not 14. Like, you got a divorce. God knows what a pain in the ass you were.
Okay, here you go. If you have a bunch of bad guys, a string of bad guys, what's the one common denominator in all those relationships?
Yeah.
Her. God sends you lessons until you learn them. It's really true. If if you continue to meet the wrong guy, that's your fault. You know, you can only blame, your parents so long for what they did when they raised you because you're a grown-up now. You have self-determination. So just stop.
Like, people post, like, oh, you're so disgusting. I can't believe what you did to me. You broke my heart, and that's so unacceptable. I thought you were the one, but I was wrong.
Someone says my posts all sound like fortune cookies.
Do they?
Because let's see. I like little inspirations.
Let's see what you do.
Well,
on the air now. that's not a fortune cookie.
No.
Thanks for the prayers, which you posted something earlier.
Yeah, my brother was in a really terrible motorcycle accident.
That bad?
Yeah, he was 50 miles an hour. He got hit by a car.
How's he doing?
He's in a hospital. This is where you get to know Lon a little deeper. I'm from a huge family. I'm one of 9 kids. You know that. And I don't really talk to my family. I don't argue with them, but, one day I stopped calling them, and they never called back. It was always like one-sided.
Mm-hmm.
And, I feel really bad for my brother. I feel bad that this happened to him. But to come out of nowhere and go, hey, I'm here for you, it just seems so weird.
Yeah. How long has it been since you saw your brother?
Well, realize I touched base with them when I did the bike trips. But, I mean, like, we don't exchange Christmas cards. We don't, there wasn't a call on Christmas Day. It's not that sort of thing. This all got really poisoned. This is going to sound awful. It's all Joanna's fault. Because, well, it's my fault because I chose to marry Joanna. Because in my mother's mind, Joanna was the nail in the coffin that I wasn't going to move back to Massachusetts and take care of my mother for the rest of her life.
Oh, and that's what they all thought you were going to do.
Well, my mother thought it, and then she just badmouthed my wife to the entire family. To the point that, a couple of them have met my wife and were like, she doesn't seem all that bad.
What was the reasoning? And that's, I know that's an old school
because
thing.
I was never going to go move back to Massachusetts.
Are you you're the youngest?
No. I'm the 6th, but I was, oddly, I was the oldest one at home when the divorce happened. Huge kid, 9 family, but I was the oldest. I grew up in this subset of 4 kids, and I was the oldest of the 4 of them. Okay. And I was the...
What's the age range? How many years?
Of the 9?
Oh, yeah, of the 9.
20 years.
Really? So...
Yeah, I have a sister that's 13 years older than me, and I have a set of twin brother and sister that are 7 years younger.
Really?
Yeah. They go, let me try and do this. 13 years older than me. We got 66, 64, 9, 62, 60. Wow.
A lot in
58,
the 60s.
58, and me at 53. My brother Luke.
That's a big gap, though.
Yeah, my brother Luke at 48. So there's this bunch, gap, me, gap, Luke, and then 2 years younger than Luke at 40. So I have 7 years younger at 46 on my youngest brother.
Now, do you guys all look the same, or?
Yeah, there's no
the blazes are.
Yeah, it's a look. What's weird is the younger we get, the blonder we get.
Yeah.
Everybody
blue eyes, or?
No. I have I don't. Everyone in my family has the dark brown eyes, and I have blue eyes. My sister has blue eyes.
And it's funny, and we've spoken off the air about your family, and
there's
and
pictures there's pictures of my family on Facebook.
I've seen the one when you guys are all young, when you guys are kids.
Yeah.
But you are the black sheep of the family.
Or as my own family refers to me, the white sheep of the family.
The white sheep of your family.
Because all my brothers and sisters, this is not a judgment of them, kind of went like blue collar, like longshoremen, truck drivers.
I mean, you went into teaching.
Well, I graduated from high school.
Yeah.
A bunch of my brothers and sisters got GEDs, kind of, and the 3 youngest from me graduated from high school. 2 of them just kind of squeaked through, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I went to this fancy schmancy prep school, and then I went to a fancy schmancy New England prep school on scholarship, and I went to college on scholarship, full scholarship. So in that alone, I'm really, really different.
Yeah.
And my family's kind of like a Jerry Springer family. The only thing we're shy of is the actual trailer park.
Yeah.
But we're just shy of that. You know, there's Velvet Elvises over the sofa, and there are cars in the front yard with, you know, up on blocks.
So it's all right, because I had my car in the front lawn for a while,
and
actually.
there's you know, refrigerators without doors on them, that kind of thing. And here's the one I'll say very quickly. Many members of my family, my brothers and sisters, all ended up supplementing their income by being in the adult entertainment industry.
Brilliant. That's great. Did they go out west?
My brother was the host of the AVNs, the Adult Video Awards.
Really?
Yeah.
Early on.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, that's funny. That's so funny. But you know what, though? In a way, I mean, that is an out there thing, but you're out there. You know what I mean? Like, you're eccentric about certain things. You've gone into theater. You've gone into acting. You've done, you know, Broadway. You know, you're not a straight edge. You know, you're not going in this one direction.
No.
So that could possibly, you know, it's something that might be in the family. You know, you're in theater. Yeah,
well, they thought for a long time. Did I ever tell you this story? My brothers and sisters, my older brothers and sisters, kind of assumed that I was gay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'd been married a year, and my brother called me, and he said, "Do you know a girl named Mary Claire McNiff?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." And he went, "Yeah." I was like, "Why?" He said, "Well, she's working the counter at Ann and Hope. This is department store, and you know, I'm talking to her for a while, and I asked her out, and on our first date, she asked me if I have a brother named Lon, and I said, yeah, and she said, well, I have to tell you, I kind of spent this evening with your brother." And my brother's like, "Lon? Isn't he gay?" Like, he was like totally stunned. And this, I could bless her forever. She said, "No, Lon's straight. He's really good at it." I think I sent the girl flowers.
Have they?
And they just like, they really thought for the longest time, because I didn't like work on a car, you know, and that I cared about theater and poetry, that I had to be gay.
Are they all in Massachusetts now, or they're all around?
I think everyone's in Massachusetts. Wait a minute. Linda lives... Okay, they're all L's, by the way. Linda lives with my mother. Larry lives a couple towns over. Lance lives a few towns over. Lauren lives in Florida. She's the only one. Lee lives just up the street from where I grew up in the same town.
Mm-hmm. Nobody came to New York?
No, I'm the only one. No one came to New York. Just me.
It has to. But when you left and you came to New York, was that almost like, well, Lon is leaving?
Yeah.
Was it like a bad thing for you to leave?
No, I think they thought I'd go away, but they thought I'd come back, and I was always the different one anyway. I didn't do what they did.
Okay, so what would you been doing if you went back?
If I
didn't stay in New York?
I don't know,
or you came to New York
I don't know.
and
I constantly
you didn't
think
like what your life would have been like if you stayed?
I used to be mad that my family was kind of the way they were, until I realized that if they weren't the way they were, I wouldn't have fought against them or fought to leave the area.
See, what I'm wondering is what your life would have been like if you never left, even. What if you never left? What if you stayed there? Do you think you would have gone to college and finished? And
I don't know. Maybe I would have ended up a teacher, like at either my old high school or at the high school. I went to a prep school that was in the same town that I grew up in, and then, you know, Danvers High School, Danvers, Massachusetts. I probably would have ended up there, you know, like teaching or something.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize.
But you would have never experienced acting, you know, theater.
I think I would have done some
small plays,
community theater kind of
at the school.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Taught that.
It's always fascinating when you stand back and you say, well, what if I went in this direction, where my life would have gone? You know, I think if I stayed in business, or I stayed in my previous job, and where I would have gone. But I think it ends up twirling you in this weird direction, right? I mean, that's pretty much what happens.
Right.
And you look back and you almost think like, well, I was probably meant to go on this path. with my career, with my life. Like I was almost, there's certain things that happen in life that you say, you know what, it's such a coincidence that this is happening and that this happened due to this. It's almost like I'm predestined for certain things. It's a weird thing. I always stand on that line, you know, how certain things happen. It's such a bizarre path.
It really is. The path to how I got here is not straight. I don't know anyone's path is a straight line. You know, that they did this, and then it's a handful of people that say, you know, like when they're 4, they want to be a doctor and they end up being a doctor.
They end up being a doctor, yeah.
You know, it's all over the place. I mean, my life has bounced around 30 times.
But I mean, look at where we are now, right? And let's bring up how I started this company as an example.
Mm-hmm.
I was laid off from my previous job.
Right.
That was a very secure job.
Right. I remember you like freaking out.
It was a very safe job. There was no way I was going to get laid off. I was getting paid a lot of money. It was a great job. There was no way I was getting laid off. And I ended up getting dinner with you after not seeing you for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And we ended up talking about, I don't even know how it came up. We were talking about.
Well, I had just finished the bike ride.
You had finished the bike ride and we were talking about a bucket list or something like that,
yeah.
and certain things that you want to do in your life. And I said, well, I've always wanted to be on the radio. And you said, well, why don't you? I get laid off 2 days later. And I said, well, let me do this. So if we never had that conversation, maybe the radio thing would not have gone through my head.
Yeah. And, you know, and I think everything that happens because it's supposed to, and it just did.
And that's interesting, though, how that happens. That's the most fascinating part about how you end up thinking that you're going to go in a certain path and you end up going in a different one. But in the end, I mean, you went to school for theater, right?
Right.
But you ended up becoming a teacher, but you ended up doing theater.
Well, the high school that I went to had a really good theater department, and that's what made me decide to go into theater. So that's what I went to college for. And then, you know, when I got out of college, very honestly, the whole auditioning process scared the bejesus out of me. I got spooked out of it. And then I met Joe, and I needed a place to settle, to have a life and make an income. And she came up with the idea of me teaching. It wasn't my idea.
Was she teaching at that point, or she was considering?
No,
it?
she never taught ever.
But she worked.
Counselor.
Yeah, she was a guidance counselor.
Yeah,
but
she never taught.
But had she gone in that path at that point?
No,
was
she followed me into education.
Oh, that's funny.
Because that way we could be, working kind of the same schedules, have the summers off, even though we worked most of the time, but we just did different things, which is like, us. We like to do 5 different things rather than just one.
It is interesting, though.
But if I hadn't come from the family that I had gone to.
But your father was a teacher.
Yeah, but I didn't know that till I met him growing up.
That's, yeah.
Yeah.
And see,
he became a teacher. I didn't know it. I became a teacher without knowing that my own father was a teacher.
And that's interesting.
Well, he and I ended up being a lot alike. He's like the rough-hewn version of me. He's like my dad's the blue-collar version of me. Because from everything that I got from the school that he taught in, he taught like I did. He kind of was a pain in the ass and like entertaining. He once took a car apart. Like the entire thing, every screw, and laid it out on a blanket and said, "Okay, guys, put it back together."
Did he retire as a teacher, or?
Yeah, he did. And his wife worked. It was a secretary in the school, and he retired to Mississippi near his brother because they were both. My dad was in the Merchant Marines, and my uncle, his younger brother, was in the Navy, and they have a base down there.
See, that is interesting how your dad was a teacher and you didn't know and you went into teaching and you found out later.
And we have same physical attributes. We have the same laugh. It's really weird. And the lower part of my voice is my dad. That's because when I met Joanne, let me see if I can do it. When I met Joanne, I had no like baritone timbre in my voice at all.
It's flat.
It was all like sort of like this and on kind of high. No wonder they thought I was gay. How weird.
Or a little like Michael Jackson. You have the whole Michael Jackson
a little bit.
Little whisper thing going.
A little bit. Like, and then one day, like I was married like a year and I woke up and I went, "Hi, honey." Like the first thing in the morning, she was like, "What the hell is that?" Like all this. I went through like 3 puberties. It was kind of fun.
So your brother was in a bad accident, and I saw someone posted on your Facebook that he was in an accident. Is that how you found out?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Like his old. Yeah. See, this is what I'm saying.
Bizarre.
I'll take suggestions from the audience. Here's a family that I don't talk to, that I don't really wish poorly. We just don't. We don't. And what's the word? It's not that we don't get along. We just have nothing in common, and they never. It's like they never. I'm not even complaining. They just never thought to call me. Ever. I would call them and they'd be like, oh yeah, I'm good. My brother Lee came down and saw some plays every once in a while, the one that was in the accident.
Mm-hmm.
There were periods of time that we got along, but it just got weird, and it all worked very well when nothing was an issue.
Yeah.
But now he's hurt, and it's like, do you I know I haven't been there for 8 years, but hi. Do I send flowers? I mean, it's just kind of weird.
But and then if you don't,
right? See,
but are you at the point where you just really don't care?
It's not that I don't care. I wish it were different, but it's not. That's the thing,
Was it always like this growing up?
Kinda.
Or did it become like this? Were you close at any point?
For very short periods of time, because realize I didn't grow up with my 5 oldest brothers and sisters, really.
You grew up with the younger ones.
I grew up with the 3 youngest ones.
So are you close to them?
No.
That's interesting.
But none of them are close with each other, really. They bump into each other, at my mom's house. But they don't, no one goes over, all my brothers don't go over to one of my brother's house for this, or, a couple of them come over to my sister's house for that. They kind of bump into each other at my mom's house.
See that,
or a motorcycle rally.
See, Jessica's family is really tight, very close family.
Oh yeah, Joanna's family is really tight too.
And when I'm close to my brothers, of course, and my father I'm close with, but everybody else in my family I'm really not close with. I was very close to my cousin, my younger cousin, and then the family had a fight. The family had nonsense going on, so we kind of stopped being close. And it's hard to pick that up when you're in your 20s again. There's about a good 10-year gap where there was no communication, very little communication, and now I kind of understand what you mean. It's very difficult to...
Yeah, I think once time has gone on, it's hard to interrupt that. How do you start that back up?
And we try, and we go there for the holidays, and it's just... it's obvious that they don't really... They're like, oh, yeah, Andrew's here, and then I'm like, yeah, I'm here, and then we look at the time, and we're like, okay. It's almost like one of those, and I could understand how that happens.
Yeah, and then when you put 240 miles between you and the other people, which is how far it is away, then you're kind of I'm supposed to go to my high school reunion October 21st, and very honestly, before this was happening, I wasn't planning to drop by.
And are you gonna go now?
I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do this week. I'm actually supposed to go to a memorial service for someone else on Thursday, and I was on Friday, excuse me, and I don't know whether I'm going to interrupt that to go up to, and then it's am I actually deciding between someone else's memorial service and my brother? You know what I mean? It's just
Let me ask, are you, and I have a difficult time having close friends. I'm one of those people. I don't really have, I have my core. But in a weird way, my core works with me. I'm closer to people that work with me.
Right.
But if I like to think I'm a good person, and then I do things that I say, wow, I'm really not. I look at my friends from high school, and I look at the people that I hung out with for years, and I was very close friends with them.
Right. I think
I don't talk to anybody.
See, I think, and I don't know if it's the way I was trained by my environment growing up, but I think if you call me and I haven't spoken to you, I mean, we do the show together and, we'll hang for a half an hour before the show and we'll talk a half an hour afterwards. We'll talk a couple times on the phone during the week, but not always.
Yeah.
But every once in a while, we'll sit down and have 3 hours together, once a month or even once every other month. And that's cool with me. Yeah. And I don't think we just don't talk anymore, Andrew. I mean, it's not like that. And that's kind of how I am with all my friends.
But see, it's different now, and
my
friends
in a weird
could be
way, gone for 2 years.
But there are people that don't get that long.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that don't get
that.
In a weird way, it's strange how I've surrounded myself, and you kind of do surround yourself with people. You like pick at people, but
who
the
are
people
like you.
Not really. No, I don't.
Who handle it like
who
you.
handle it like me. Like, I don't need to. Like, I've had friends that do not talk to me anymore because
you didn't.
I didn't
keep lines of communication.
I was the one who didn't call when their birthday happened, and I didn't go when their uncle passed away. You know, and there are people like that, and I you know what's interesting? And those people,
I honor weddings and funerals.
I don't. Unless I'm close to you. Unless if you're around me,
I'll send a message. Facebook has, like, to me, has made that, like, I everyone that's on my Facebook list, and it's their birthday, I wish them a happy birthday. You know, like, as vague as they are, I wish them a happy birthday, because you know what? Like, on my birthday, it was insane. Like, all those numbers, I got, I have a huge amount of friends because they're, between the ex-students and the cyclists and drum corps people and that sort of thing. I know a ton of people. And am I tight friends with all of them? No. Can I say happy birthday to them? Yeah. So I take 2 minutes a day and I say happy birthday to everyone whose birthday it is.
You know what I would do? I do with a lot of my friends, and I don't really speak to the friends that I had in high school. Kunal is one of the few that I've kept communication with, but he's bizarre too. He's out of his mind, and I was never friends with him in high school. We just knew each other.
Oh, I didn't realize you went to high school with him.
Yeah, we went to high school and we never spoke. I
became really good friends with people that I knew in college, but they became, like, very good friends after college.
That's what happens.
But I mean, I knew them in college and I got along with them, but I wasn't in their room every night and all that.
But there are people like that. There are people that are very close, and I always felt that I was always the outside guy in the group because I never dedicated myself. It's almost that fraternity mentality where I never dedicated myself to the group and to the friendship. And it's very visible with me, where I would be the first to leave. I would be the first to say I don't want to go. And what was the kind of the end of me hanging out with the group of friends that I had when I was, even in my early 20s, was the fact that they all figured out that I don't really like any of them. Like, we hang out, but I don't know anything about them. And they turned around one day, they go, well, you don't really come around, and you don't really, like, you'll come around for a couple months and then disappear. And we consider you a close friend. And I asked him, I said, what's my father's name? What's my mother's name? What's my middle name? And I would just ask them questions like that, and they had no idea. I'm like, okay, well, you don't really know me either. We're under this illusion.
Andrew, I don't think, is your middle name Frederick too?
It is, yeah. So
my middle name?
What is it?
Timothy.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I was gonna say Tim, but is it Timothy or is it
Timothy?
I don't. I don't
think I've ever mentioned I mentioned my dad's name, I think.
On the air?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
His name is Bob.
Is it?
Yeah,
it's like Fred.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Dad's had a name like that in the last generation.
Yeah, not anymore.
Bob, Fred. I just get like the someone's gonna have a grandmother named Penny or Heather. When your grandmother's
Tiffany.
name is Heather. Your grandmother's
Tiffany.
name is Heather. It's like, wow.
I just feel that you have this different idea of what a friend is and what it's like to have a friendship when you're younger, and a lot of people that have that fraternity-like brotherhood amongst friends.
I think, this is why I think I don't have a lot of guy friends, because a lot of guy friends are friends because they once played football together, because they were once in the Army. They weren't even that close when they were in the Army.
But they have this bond. They have this connection.
They have something that they go, it was like when we were back in the common experience. This is why I think guys are so big into sports.
I'll tell you.
Because it's like, we don't have to talk about
exactly
our emotions.
What it is.
We can talk about like that last play.
Well, it's a disconnect. I think a lot of people that are disconnected with certain things are those people. That's all they could relate to, and that's all they could understand. I mean, there are a lot of, listen, I like sports too, but it's not my life. I don't only revolve around that. I think that's a difference with some people. I mean, not all of them. But I figured out, when I was talking to Jess and we were saying, if we got married now, what would your bridal party be like? And it would be everybody from the network. The groomsmen would be all the guys from the network. I don't talk to any one of my groomsmen. Not one. I have, except for my brothers. I don't talk to any of them. Not one of them.
Yeah.
I've after the wedding, I cut myself from everybody.
I didn't cut them off. My bridal party, Joanne has no bad blood. Her maid of honor was 10 years younger than her, went off and had, like, I think she has 5 kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like when you're a couple that doesn't have kids and other people have kids, that
hurts it too.
That hurts it a lot. The guy that was my best friend and my wife's other bridesmaid, she had one bridesmaid, got married, and then they got divorced, and I think they thought of it as our fault.
I look at, who do I consider my close friends, and it's weird. My close friends are the people that I work with, and it's everybody I work with.
I think it's people that you put time in with. But I will tell you something really odd. I used to have like teachers from the schools that I taught in come to my parties. Once I stopped teaching, they
stopped.
They stopped.
Yeah,
it's like,
isn't that weird?
As long as you
see these people for how many years?
Yeah,
every day.
Yeah, and no bad blood. I mean, I went off to. Did you know that? Did I tell you that Mrs. Eisenstein passed away?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
I went to her funeral, and everyone was like nice and like, "Hey, how are you?" and everything. But it's like you
left.
met up. No, you met up at the school because some of them retired before me.
Yeah.
So
but did they stay connected?
No.
Yeah.
But like, they'd come in and substitute teach sometimes every once in a while. But like, that was where you met. That was your socializing. Your job was your socializing. And a few teachers got close and went to each other's funerals. Like Miss Smerling and Miss Eisenstein were like best friends. Mm-hmm. And like till the day she died.
Yeah.
She was just torn up, just ripped up. And there are a few people, Miss Denby and Miss Smith, are still really good friends.
Well, listen, I think friendship doesn't have to be this crazy thing. I think for a lot of people, this is a friendship. I consider my closest friends are you, Chauncey, Spencer, Kieran from Lunatic Radio, Adam, Kunal, and Coco.
Here's hysterical.
And John and Rich. So this is everybody that works for me.
This is what happens. Like, I'm your friend. Chauncey's your friend. I've said 3 words to Chauncey in my life.
Yeah.
So it's like,
isn't that funny?
And I totally get that you're his friend. I totally get you're my friend. And I totally get that he and I aren't.
Yeah.
You can't force that,
It's interesting, though. It's a fascinating thing, and I think a lot of people miss it. I think a lot of people have this idea of what a friendship should be, and it's not that. I mean, we're older now. I'm going to be 30 in a couple of years, and that's alarming. And I look at what my 30-year-old friends are doing.
If you're fucking alarmed at 30,
I am, man.
What am I supposed to be?
But you've known me since I was 14.
I was working out
12.
I was working out at the health club at the boot camp the other day, and I knew there was a girl. I thought she was in high school. Mm-hmm. She was in junior high school. She was 13. She's like a big girl.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm 4 times older than she is.
I got that weird feeling. I told it on Thursday. I went out with Tim.
You're twice as old as a 14-year-old.
I am.
Now.
I went. Have you met Tim?
Yeah, I met him at the party.
So Tim and I went for sushi on Bell to Mr. Wasabi, and we're sitting down.
Is that the best place?
Yeah, I think so.
That's the one down towards Northern, right?
Down towards, and with the green awning.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've been there a couple times.
It's a great place and very nice people too over there. So we're having lunch and I had a couple to drink, and I'm getting a little loud, and he's always loud. He's this loud gay guy, and
he's gay.
Yeah, he's gay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Shocker.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. See? And he's this loud, guy, and we're talking about acting, and he was in acting, and he was in The Lion King on Broadway, and he did theater. Mm-hmm. And we're talking about, radio and the business, and this beautiful young girl sitting next to us goes, "Excuse me, are you 2 actors?" And I said, "No, I'm in radio. He's a stand-up." He goes, "Oh, because I thought you guys were my big break. I'm an actress." And Tim goes, "How old are you?" He goes, "I'm 18." And she goes, "Oh, you guys are in your early 20s, right?" I'm like, I'm like, I'm 27. And she gave this look. And she gave that look like, wow, that's really old. And I knew she wasn't 18. And Tim looked and sees St. Mary's on the shirt, on the sweatshirt. And he goes, "How old are you guys? What school do you go to? You go to Nassau?" She goes, "No, we go to St. Mary's." And I go, "You're not 18, are you?" She goes, "No, I'm 17. And I felt so old. I'm 10 years older than this girl, and she thinks I'm her big break. I mean, it was just so bizarre. It was just...
Boy, if you were reputable...
I know. I would have... She gave me... It was a whole funny thing we did with the number. She gave me her information, and she wants me to hook her up with anybody I know that does acting, because she wants to get in. But it was so interesting.
Send her to the creepy old guy.
Yeah, I'm going to send you there. But isn't
go.
it interesting how, like, at 17, 27 is old, at 27, 57 is old? You know, it's this weird thing where...
Oh, you know what's really weird, though? All of a sudden, to me, like, being in your mid-60s doesn't seem all that old to me anymore.
Well, also, I mean, even I think, like, 30 years ago, if you were 45, you were old.
Oh, absolutely. Because there was no reason to be... No availability.
50 was old. 50 was. I mean, you were a grandmother and you were old.
Yeah, you go look at grandmothers in movies. TV is now populated by 24-year-olds playing 17-year-olds, 35-year-olds playing those 25-year-olds' parents.
Sally Fields plays a grandma in Brothers and Sisters, and she looks phenomenal. And she's older. She's 64.
Yeah. It's like, and see, this is the thing that sucks. Joanna's going through it now because there's just not that much work. All the work and all the there are Joanna Gleason's kind of a big. She was a big Broadway star. She's like on CSI playing like a judge, with 4 lines. That used to be roles that people like my wife, who wasn't who isn't famous, would do. Now those roles aren't available. You have to go to low budget films where they don't have any money to get roles. And then maybe get famous that way. Or maybe he's not even famous, get known, in the business that way.
Aging sucks.
Oh, man, does it?
But here's the thing. You're in your early 50s, but do you feel like what a 50-year-old should feel like? You know what I mean? Like when you were young, you have this perception of what 50 is.
Right.
Do you feel that way? Do you feel like that's what you are?
No, I kind of feel 35. I felt 35 since I've been 35, kind of. I think when Joe started to get sick, I felt like an adult. And when I felt like an adult, I felt like, I should say 38.
35 to me always seemed like I'm getting there. And I look at the people around me. Kieran and Adam and Rocket are in their mid-30s, near to mid-30s. And I'm thinking, if that's what the mid-30s are like, it's still young.
Yeah.
Still young.
Right, but if you take Kieran and walk over to the 17-year-old from St. Mary's, it's oh my God, who's the old man?
Who's the old man? It's weird.
It's all perspective.
See, I find myself attracted to 30-year-olds now. And I never did when I was even 22,
okay,
23.
Here's the sick part.
That's the weird part.
When I was 16, you were 40-year-olds like Desperate Housewives. Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
No,
I
never
you know who I was completely hot for when I was 15? Rue McClanahan when she was on Maude. But look up Rue McClanahan when she was on Maude. She was kind of a hot ticket. She was she had big doughy eyes and woo, yeah.
Rue McClanahan, let's see.
Rue McClanahan, look up Maude. And I loved, who I loved? I loved the mother on Little House.
Oh, you're talking about Rue McClanahan from
Golden Girls.
Golden Girls, yeah.
But when I first saw her, she was not in the Golden Girls. I saw her 20 years earlier or 15 years earlier on a show called Maude. It was a sitcom with B. Arthur. They knew each other from back then, and she played kind of the dopey next door neighbor. She almost played someone kind of Rose-like.
You know who always gave me the hots?
Who?
The mom in Golden Girls.
Estelle Getty?
Loved her.
Yeah.
At that age. She was the youngest.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
She did community theater in Queens.
Yeah.
They found her that way.
Interesting.
Yep.
Lon, we got to wrap it up.
We do.
Yeah. Okay. I want to remind everybody, go to our website, guysfromqueens.com. Also go to stream inside gfqlive.tv. Lunatic Radio is not on tonight, unfortunately. Kieran he has stuff to do.
Because he's
and
old?
By stuff, we know.
He's 35.
No, I was trying to make a masturbation joke, and I tried to make it as clean as possible. Go to our website, guysfromqueens.com. Again, go to stream inside gfqlive.tv. Subscribe to us on iTunes. If you go to itunes.com/GFQ, all our shows are listed there. So hit subscribe. It helps us out. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Good night, everybody.
Bye.